Hey guys, what's up? This is Andrew for TrendSensors.com. So in this video, I would like to ask a question. So the question is, what might create the squeeze? I'm talking here, of course, about AMC and GME. So let's get into it. All right, guys. So I think that it's very interesting to look at first what happened yesterday. So I'm going to quickly go on the charts as usual. But most importantly, I would like to really discuss the most important question, that is, what can create the squeeze? So first, the charts. AMC. So I'm on a daily time frame, guys. Let me quickly sum up the situation here. So we are having since August a nice bullish development that developed in 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is kind of normal behavior. Then we corrected a bit too deep. Once again, you can measure how deep we correct. Usually we go to 61.8 for second waves as per ELLIOTT wave theory. Here we went slightly below to the 78.6. So already you can see that bears were, a bit too much in control in this move down. But finally, bulls flexed their muscles. We had the breakout. It needed some time, guys, before taking back the moving averages. And for now, so here then we had this bullish engulfing that I showed you guys already. We have one here. Let me put it up. We'll have one here and one here. All right. And each time after the bullish engulfing, here we went slightly lower. No, the next day we went much higher. So each time after the bullish engulfing, we have positive reactions. Okay, so that's kind of expected. Now what we are waiting for is, so we are trading above the moving averages. So once again, I'm a TA guy, and here there's nothing else I can tell you. And no one else that knows about TA would tell you something different than from the fact that we are bullish, because we are above the moving averages. We are above 38, that I'm going to put in green. Okay, so we have everything. But of course, anything can happen. And yesterday's session was, to me, even if we closed the day higher, it was mixed. The reason why it's mixed to me, so we went to 41.8 yesterday. So we were getting close to where we had a lot of gamma. So I wish we had a stronger move, to be honest. This is weak to me because we had the gamma, we had the positive impulse that at the early session of trading. So we had everything. Technicals were good. We had the news from the day before that apes will now try to hold their shares on their account. So everything was looking great and we didn't have the squeeze. So the question I want to ask is, what else do we need? Because yesterday we had everything, and we didn't have the strong move up that could have happened, let's say 20%, or, just go to the 50 area right away. This would have been, like here, a great success. So maybe it's going to happen on Monday. Maybe people need to think about the news that is actually very good, because it's the only way to make the shorts actually squeezed. Because, if those guys can always borrow shares and dump in the market, the squeeze might never happen. So this news, once again, that is about the fact that apes are now holding their shares physically, not through a broker, but on direct registration accounts, is very good. So maybe we're going to have the positive reaction on Monday. But here, what I really want to analyze, guys, is what do we need for the squeeze to happen? So we first need to think about the situation. So we have apes that hold 80% of the share float. We have shorts around, 23% right now on AMC. So you can see that everything has not been rolled yet. Okay. So maybe this is going to give us some fresh power, because we only have 13% of synthetic short right now, maximum synthetic short, which means that all the options that expired on October have not been rolled yesterday. If they were, maybe this would have give us the energy we missed. So right now, the next expiry is 19th of November. Maybe there is one more. I'm going to have a look, but we have roughly 23% of short interest in this market. So when we look at the previous moves up, for example, here we have identified that it was, so on the 1st of October, when we took 20%, the S&P was dropping heavily that day. And I'm very convinced this was a margin call. So margin calls can create the beginning of a short squeeze. All right. This is the definition of a short squeeze, right? So, but I doubt we have those margin calls at higher levels, because as explained, margin calls happen either if AMC starts to move up, so we need fresh money, like for example, institutional clients or apes. So those are the two different category of investors that can bring fresh liquidity. Apes or asset managers, basically. And we have shorts that can buy. So we have three categories of buying orders that can happen in this market. And market makers, of course, that gonna buy on the way up through the short gamma position they bear because they are selling calls to retail investors, so to apes. So let's try to think about this once again. And we can see that right now, apes, they have already bought. So maybe they're going to keep buying, but I can see just by looking, for example, at the views I make on my YouTube channel or any other YouTubers about AMC, people are not, that much into AMC as they used to be. I mean, people less talk about that. So I think that if AMC starts to move higher again, they will again talk about it and new apes will come. So basically the movement will grow and fresh liquidity will arrive. So this is one way that this can happen. Okay, there needs to be something that makes everybody talking about AMC. So strong moves up can do that. Or a news. So basically we need a catalyzer. So I think that the news we had yesterday, 2 days ago, is something very great. So I hope people will talk about it during the weekend, just like I'm doing, so that more people get into the trade. If apes are not the ones that create the strong move up, then it can only come. So hedge funds will not do it by themselves, only if the market is crashing, but we have very positive signals on the global market right now. So I don't think this could happen. And so the last option is asset managers. And asset managers, they can buy if they are bullish. I mean, they can, inject a lot of money, but same, they're not gonna happen. So they can check TA, all right? Those guys, they use TA. So if there is a good TA, they can, put a bit more money, but they're not gonna start to invest massively if there is no news. So I come back to the original question, what can create the squeeze? And the only answer I can bring you guys is a news, all right? It's the only thing that can make apes talking more about AMC, especially if we start to go higher, the virtuous cycle will be created again. Right now, the issue is, I think that people don't talk enough about the stock as they used to. So this is what could, for example, convince some asset managers to jump in. If they see that everybody's talking about AMC, it will work just like Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin is making almost new highs, not because it's worth a lot, just because it's worth how much people talk about it, right? So the more people gonna talk about it, the higher its worth would be. So it's the same for AMC, guys. And once again, I sum up the situation. Margin calls will happen, but higher, or if the market crashes, which is off the table right now. So margin calls won't trigger the move up. Apes are loaded already, and they are, maybe when they're gonna roll, they're gonna bring fresh liquidity, but most of apes have already bought enough shares as they wanted to. So we need new apes to come, the movement to grow. To make the movement grow, we need to talk about it and we need to have the first moves up. Okay, so fresh liquidity that are gonna then generate everything. But yesterday we had that, it was not enough. So my conclusion is the movement needs to grow. And once again, a news would help a lot to do that. Quickly, I check GME, guys, because those two, they are going together. If one is moving, it's going to spread the same way, okay? It's news driven. People would talk about AMC and look at GME and be like, hey, why is GME not taking off? And they will be buying GME and talk about it. So one or the other will probably trigger the other one. So here on GME, same situation, guys. I'm going to keep updating you, but it can take some time. We have a huge triangle that is converging in Jan 22, roughly, okay, around 200. So something must happen before that. So I don't know, maybe something like this. If we break this, it's not looking good, but for now we are far, far, far from this kind of scenarios. This is very strong here. I would personally be a buyer again here around 170. If we see this dip, I would be buying more at this level. And yeah, technically here it's looking pretty nice. We are above the moving averages. We are above 178. So once again, a pullback can always happen. That's for sure. But we are bullish, okay? We are bullish on the long term, above the moving averages, bullish on the short term after breakout and close above the moving averages. Yeah, so let's see what's happening here. But this chart is looking great to me. And once again, whenever we break the orange trend line, which level is right now at around 240, 250, this is like, I mean, almost guaranteed that we're gonna have a squeeze, because if we go there and we break that, it means that we had already the trigger. and that people talk about it and that everything is in the right direction. So once again, talk about it, share this video, tell the story that you want to your friends, parents, family, whatever. Just spread the word that this movement is strong, that apes will hold, and that something great is about to happen. So that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please don't forget to click on the sub, like, and bell button so you're going to be the first to know when I upload anything new. And stay close to shore. I'll see you guys.